Hey everyone, today we're baking gloves. Okay, what the heck do you mean? So everyone's familiar with these old type of gloves. This is like, you can get them at Costco. Look, it's great for entry into skiing, but the problem with a really cheap glove is that it's really only designed for one thing. Most of the time, it's gonna be to keep you really, really warm. The problem is, if it gets over 32 degrees or even 40 degrees, you're gonna sweat in these. If you're on vacation, it's gonna be really, really difficult to dry this glove out, and then it's gonna ruin your trip if you can't get it dry by the next morning. I recommend always going with a leather glove. Now, obviously, if you can afford a pair of $150, $160 Heffstras, awesome, probably the best glove in the market. But if you have a mortgage like me, you gotta go something like a Kinco. The cool thing with Kincos is that if you pay attention to a lot of the guys that are ski patrol, a lot of the guys that are lifties, and they're out in the cold all day, every day, you'll recognize this weird looking glove. It's not the prettiest glove, but unlike a $150 glove, this glove will run you maybe at Ace Hardware 20 bucks. If you buy it on the mountain, maybe 30, 32 bucks. Now, for $1, they'll sell you a little tiny thing of Minwax and you can rub it in. That's okay, but this glove will end up looking like this glove, okay? It'll have a patina to it. It'll look a lot better. It'll get much more waterproof if you use something like Sno-Seal. So what this is a beeswax. It's between $8 and $11 for a can, and I'm gonna show you how to bake your glove today. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're going to open up, and if you can tell, I've had this for 4 years. It's only maybe halfway through. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put on your gloves. Okay, so your gloves are on. Now, I also advise you to get some of these little wrist straps, like Heffstra makes a ton of them, $7, and get them. It's really nice if you're taking your gloves on and off all the time. You won't lose them on the lift. You can ski while you're going down and you're fixing something and you don't have to worry about tucking your glove under. Anyway, all you do here is you take the big finger, the pointer finger, get a nice big clump of it, and then just start working it into the gloves. And during this time, you want to have turned your oven on to between maybe 180 and 220 degrees. I don't think there's any exact science to the perfect degree. It's just that we want to let this wax really get into the pores of this glove, and we're going to do it 2 or 3 times. And be liberal with it, especially the first time, because it's really, when you put it in the oven, it's really going to open up, it's going to get into this. And then what you also want to do is all this kind of wool material, all the materials want to get it. It's going to stink up the place for a few minutes. So maybe do it late at night or maybe during the day when people are out of the house. But if people don't like the smell of this wax, then maybe you want to have them out. But anyway, I'm going to work this up real good, and got to get in the fingers like this. So I'm just liberally applying a lot of this stuff. The first time you do this, the very first time, you really have to put the most in. You want to just get it in between all the crevices, everywhere on the glove. And this is going to create this really good base seal. All of this is going to soak in. These gloves also, when you buy them or when you look at them in the store, they'll be really, really stiff. They'll kind of mold to your hand over time. So don't be worried that it's so stiff when you first get them, because they'll be like your best friends pretty soon. And the great thing is you're only going to have spent not that much. So for example, I got mine on Amazon. I think they were like 22 bucks. They're the Kinco 1927s. And then my friend was skiing out of Park City and at Canyons. At the ski shop there, they had them. They had a 20% sale going on, so he got them for like 30 bucks. So even at the most ritziest expensive place, they're not going to be expensive. I've always said that I don't trust a ski shop unless they sell something like a Kinco, because there should always be that cheap alternative, especially for the guys that are working the mountain. I don't like it when I only see like $80 gloves. Okay, so these are pretty good. You can see that they still have this very yellow kind of color to them. you're gonna see a transformation. All right, so we have it set here to 220. People in the comments will probably grill me on that's too much, but you always want to put it on a pan sheet, and you want to put it on some tin foil because it's kind of gross. And then you're just gonna let it go for a few minutes. All right, while that's baking, I've got these. They're made by Wells Lamont. It's another company that makes a glove like Kinco. A lot of workman gloves. These are my spring gloves when it's really, really warm out. Any leather glove, driving glove, whatever, really you can use if you use the Sno-Seal. So again, with these, I'm just gonna bake them in. I've already put these on there before, but since I was doing my buddy's gloves, I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me get a good seal on them. Usually you only have to do this, I don't know, if you're working on the mountain probably more than once a year. If you only ski 10 days, once a year, it's fine. Probably a good rule of thumb is maybe as many times as you wax your skis, you should wax your gloves. I don't know. But I know some people who wax their skis like every 10 days or 5 days. Anyway, just get them in liberally. All you want in a spring glove is you really just want something that's light and breathable, and something that is waterproof, because you're going to be in corn snow, it's going to be wet. So these work great. All right, so it's been a few minutes and we're looking at the gloves in here. Obviously it's not that hot, but always take it out like this. You can already start to see the color changing, especially around the edges. See the darker color. All right, so I'm going to put these gloves on. They're nice and warm inside, and you can already tell they have a great color coming into them, okay? And you can feel look, all of that is gone. It's all in the pores, and now they're nice and warm. And this second coat, we're going to do 3 coats. It's really going to go in quick. I mean, look, I just put it on. You can see my hand. It's like it's already soaking in. And the second coat, it's a lot quicker. You want to make sure you get the little tab down the spine, but I'm just going to work it all in here. You know, my friend had these gloves that he had for years, and they just, you know, when your hands sweat in a glove and you're on vacation, you don't have the way to really dry them. It really is drag if you have to go buy $80, $90, $100 gloves at the resort. But I'll tell you, these will last you a long time. I don't tend to get that cold. I've worn my gloves in negative 15, negative 20. I'm fine with that. They also make a mitten. I think they make a mitten that has the trigger finger also. Those are harder to find sometimes, but I know that those are really popular. But you do the same thing. Even if you get a pair of Heffsters, you should do this to them. You know, a lot of these glove manufacturers, they'll say that they come waterproofed, but it doesn't hurt to do this. I'm just putting those spring gloves in there, and we'll bake it at 220 for a few more minutes. So I've got my old trusty gloves. You're supposed to use a leather washer on them. I don't really care. I did this earlier this season, but I skied 19 days. So I'm gonna do it again. Supposed to go up to New Hampshire one more time. You know, it's funny, I was at the top of Park City. It was really cold. It was like -5, but with the wind chill, it was like -20, and something happened with my GoPro, and I had to swap out a battery, and I had to take the case apart. I thought my hands were gonna die. I actually was on top of 9 and 990 thinking I just need to get to a lodge to warm up my hands. It was like the coldest my hands have ever been. And I didn't have any hand warmers in my pockets or anything. And just having my hands back in my gloves, by the time I got down to, I think like the Tombstone Lodge, I didn't want to go in, and my hands were fine. So I run differently. Obviously, if you need a mitten, get a mitt. But these are surprisingly warm, especially if you Sno-Seal them. They're warm. So the final go around, I'll put these in. Let's go see how those other gloves are looking. All right, let's see how these look. All right, so they're not quite done yet. We're gonna give them our second. You can see that it's really working in to the leather. It's like glistening. We don't want to see that. All right, so we're gonna try this out again. They look a lot better. We're just gonna take these ugly ones off here. All right, so as you can see, the patina is getting way better. I mean, they're looking way darker. So let's take them out. All right, here we go. They're looking awesome already. All right, so we're on the final stretch here. And honestly, like, you don't have to take these off. They're totally fine. It's only getting 220 degrees in there. It's just warm enough so that it just really melts the wax, the beeswax into the glove. All right, so final time through. Also, the cool thing with these gloves is you get a lot of like mountain cred from all of the lifties and stuff. And it's funny, when I first got them, I started noticing, just look at pictures, you'll see this kind of pattern. I think Philo makes one now that like is a knockoff, which is really funny because they have a slightly different pattern with like a turquoise stripe. But what you'll notice is a lot of guys in like Powder Magazine and stuff that are doing awesome backcountry skiing, you know, yeah, they got $1,200 skis on and they have these gloves. So everyone I've never met that has had a pair of Kincos, they absolutely love them, and they look hilarious when you have a $900 Arc'teryx jacket and a ratty 10-year-old pair of Kinko's gloves that cost you 26 bucks at Ace Hardware. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Like I said, if you don't want to get ripped off when you walk into that ski shop you're unfamiliar with, look around. You know, if they don't have a pair of these or like Lamont Wells or something, that if a lifty forgot his gloves, he doesn't have to waste like half a day's salary on, then yeah, I trust that place. So this is really easy. This is the easiest thing you're ever gonna bake because you can't really overcook it. But 3 is usually the charm. And the nice thing is you're getting so much into the pad of the hand, and then the finger, the pointer finger that you use, and all the fingers that you use a lot, you're getting a lot in there because that's what you're kind of using to spread it around. So we're almost done. And I'm gonna throw my gloves on here. I don't like to get the wax on my hand because it's just kind of gross. So just gotta get it through there. I'm gonna throw my gloves on here. And now let's take it back to the oven. All right, so we're gonna go back into the oven now with a whole big pile of gloves. And I'm telling you, leather is better. You have more feel, it's better. So let's come back in a few minutes. All right, so this should be the last time we take them out. And look at those, they look amazing. All right, so for the final time, nice and warm, everything is soaked in. They look and they feel amazing already. Like they already don't feel as stiff as they did like after he only skied 1 or 2 days in them. With just a little packet of Minwax, they already feel really good. You can see, you can hear them. This is gonna give you so much more feel in your poles. It's also gonna give you so much more dexterity when you're trying to put on your skis or do anything really on the mountain, especially if you're in off-piste situations. But they look great now. They don't look like that weird yellow color. So again, get yourself some Kincos, pick up these little straps for $5. It's really nice because you can just let it dangle and then you don't have to worry about it falling off the lift. Or if you're trying to fix your chin strap, you can be skiing down the mountain fixing it. You don't have to worry about your glove leaving you. And in a few years, you know, they'll really, really build in. So this is an extra large and this is an extra large. Look at the size. This is really just shaped down to the size of my hand. And they fit me, you know, like a glove, I guess. So thanks so much for being here today and watching this video. I hope this video was helpful. Please, if you don't follow me on TikTok, my TikTok is below in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. If I don't know the answer, I will research it and I'll try to find out. Thanks.